The Tale of Genji. Kuritsubo. Murasaki Shikibu. Light of flowers and sun shining purple Omoi Awazaru. Otherwise specified without any Akiko. Which emperor like if it were a rain? In the seraglio, which is said to changing Togatoka Nyogo, there were many, but not the best of noble origin. Deeper there was a person that obtained the icho and self-confidence that he precisely from the beginning was jealous as impoliteness woman from Nyogo who entered the court if there is she free offices in force of parent brothers, equivalent to that person, or it is lower than the position changing. We did not also mean you do not burn, much less jealousy of the flame. Morning Sisal from the night of the palace of night duty stations, followed by night that only the person is called to. Whether the body becomes weak was also because of the resentment was reluctant Kuchiyoshi listening to Mimi the eyes. Dressing became Koko Robosoku. Many parents' home when it comes to 10 been lowered to. Finally emperor in your state to become a drawn you a mind just to the people. Not to be our thing as withhold it also tries to humans is what criticism. It became a state that could also serve to things like remain ichi show of dark shadow also on the history to tell your imperial virtue. In trouble even officials also palace circles officials. Your was a favor first time, well synchronized to become awake. You're enough to take the attitude at the time being want to have a face which is not seen. Of this kind in the Tang dynasty of the country Choki. In the shade and the like turbulence has been brewed by the appearance of a woman of young is said. Now this woman has come to be that it is noisy one world. Station of Uma Y is unexpected maybe when reproduced. Among the painful atmosphere, such as unbearable as for that person. Just lived with only relying deep your affection. Father of Dynagan was already deceased. In the woman the mother of the widow is in good insight of the born. Was example or good parents not raise the sink to the daughters of the flashy house with a force. In modern my daughter, still changing. Not have a patron of Taigan seem to always lonely I think in the case of something. Before a raw edge was deep. Until the beautiful prince, as also know has become born from this person. The Choki from Oboshimeshi, who would like to see early the sun was a mother. Dressing as soon as the number of days of the regular stand from which you invited the mother and child to the court. Small prince became come to the beautiful your face than made any beauty. The first son of emperor become born from Nyogo daughter of Udaijin. Heavy maternal relative as has become in the background. But as a world of people crown prince no doubt the future is devoted respect. The second son since the be arranged in the good looks untimely to be you. It is also Basa Cherish is the firstborn of Sumeragika, which became to come very important therefore as Iko of your own. Dressing was not enough of light identification to serve as a lady of the ordinary court from the beginning, but you loved to become too. But the man himself was a fine woman enough to say the best of the lady, as would put you to the buckwheat you all the time. When sports music other of your event thing in the palace circles who will call you this person to the normal of the palace in the first earlier than or sometime in things like dressing become detained your samurai in day as it cannot be the morning of the exit from the night of palace and may become. It was also seen in Fu slightly lighter, because now you treat gravely standing on the subsequent day become a born prince. Proved to be erected one to the prince of whether to crown prince and Shirenu. Nyogo of your real mother of the first son had a doubt. This man was the first of Nyogo was imperial bridal party's entry into the court when emperor for best young. Only blame and displeasure that this Nyogo was not accustomed to come in the indifferent. Also feel that sorry that this Nyogo became come have enough, while believing the emperor of deep love, and those who say bad, in the court of the only person who is going to Sagashida also the shortcomings of something sickly that, and helpless house lonely dressing that is the background of the loved one's loved suffering was fu. Increase enough to be. Palace living was Kuritsubo. such as the northeast corner in the imperial palace, becomes emperor, often come thither and to attend path palace of the porch of some of Nyogoin. Changing us, because changing to a night duty was Kuritsubo to continue to rise and fall. Palace of residence. Not must have all the time watching our resentment, as must be said that the reason also going NDE amount so much subsequent time to be summoned is a bad trick of nasty de toka doorway. Certain of bridge toka attended the corridor, the hem of the wives of the kimono to the drop off and pick up is, or there are such things as would damaged at once. There is also a time or each other and bites the lock to the door of the corridor. Not must absolutely pass through there. There is in accordance with nay if the palace of the people to each other that should go here to say impassable, eliminating the changing of Toramichi of Kuritsubo. Also there was often such things as accounts shame te. In response to the suffering of the more unexpected numerous dressing becomes to the addition to comes to emperor you many more aware see is caused mailer the mind. Changing the to other who lived in the cool hall after following this off dono I gave it as a rest room to the changing of Polonia pa become transferred you. Resentment of the people that have been moved became also deeply than any concubines. Expression of Hakamaji when the second of the prince became made you into a 3-year-old has been performed. The first of the cost of inferior unexpected such flashy preparation in the equation of the prince, which was before has been spending from the court. Although the public was the variously criticism be attached to it, because the beauty of the growth is being the sun, and the sagacity was one not kind. It was not possible to think bad everyone a prince. Experts must look at this ingenious beautiful small prince. These people were also all surprised or not born in the human world. Is that of the summer of that year. Mia Sundakoro, prince woman dressing that became a real mother of is to be called this way, is becoming a little sick, but tried to Sagero to home emperor did not become forgive, since it's somewhere in the body is that bad was supposed to be of the ordinary for this person. Emperor not to your surprise so good, but to the try the other while aging at imperial palace. Said gradually worse within the so come in 5 just after becoming so disease in 6 days became seriously ill. The mother of the widow was to be sent home. Hope your spare time tearfully. It may also what curses carried out in case such. From caring of a had a misfortune physician to the prince, and kept to only the court prince. Only Mia Sundakoro so as not to stand out was to leave emperor, and it is impossible to keep on this and oboshi meshi. Became come sad unbearable thing insufficient of divinity of go Takashi which is not can be. For go the place where changing is go away. Gorgeous face immediately beauty is gone very thin. In the nature of the people that cannot be. But there was infinite sadness that continued to farewell the emperor say anything to mouth out is. In the mind is there. Comes from being weak to whether or not there to see the emperor was also the future also feel that. The sports that went black past tearfully dressing also asobasa a variety of reliable future of the promise is not can you Stonehenge. Eyes is also a compelling listlessness likely. Because the supple and the people from Hirao was in the sleeping become more feeble. This is anxiety that would be what happens has hit the big your heart. Dressing is not to forgive the fact that go now and be asobasa or become defeated you infused of output that may be your permission in Nyenche from the court to the officials. Also will welcome back to the hospital room. Because he is coming out at the same time also on a journey of death you also promised to be our 2 people. We should not be able to be gone to the house to put me. And, when the emperor is in your words, even well understood woman of the your mood, look at the very sadly your face. Sad the squid mahoshiki of another Ruru Rodo is carry nari life. Death that you could not have come so closing in on me. This only thing to say breath to Tadeda. It should be noted that it is likely that you want to say you to the emperor, but has become not at all energy. Although Emperor wanna die when you were die beside of this while he had to Oboshimeshi prayer, which should begin from today. Even heard the high priest who it also would like things like that unexpected must now start from tonight, since prompting the exit of the dressing from the people was to ascribe your Wagataku farewell Oboshimeshi. Emperor was difficult to have your breasts become your sleep is filled with sorrow. Although the use of ast will be served to the back was the changing of the house should come back soon. Although it even is the emperor that it was begone and would not wait to hear the Stonehenge. Your will, did you dying to midnight, to say, force and see the clamor and cry of the people of the late Dainagon who came back as it is to the imperial palace to fall. Your sorrow of emperor became to listen to the changing of death as very became directly come hold up. Was Oboshimeshi prince want to leave to near a keepsake among them? The prince and the mother of Kabuku is, because there is no such example in which to come to the blatant imperial court of the fowl. It was to be leaving to the changing of the home. Prince is not to know also that there has been any important maid's cry commotion. Was Fuo only become wonder? I think the air you just also tears flow in your face of the emperor. Because things like that parting of father and son is one sad even if it is not anything. It was not at this time of the emperor of your mood as you sorry thing. The remains, no matter how regrettable human unexpected, must be treated as remains. Supposed to be the funeral is carried out. The mother of the widow had been Koga cry and want to be in the smoke at the same time cremation. The remains and the heart of the widow of the time I arrived to Ikamashiku provided the ceremony in the field of Atago riding together once to have the car of the funeral of the wife would have been no matter how sad. While looking at the dead people, we need to go in order to cool my hesitation that should not think that is like a person who is still alive. Dor had to say to Ken unlikely. But since cry I knew I would fall out of the car. I thought wives and was afraid to become such a thing. You're from the court came to Sojo. Dressing to it was awarded the third place. Imperial envoy was not that sad for the widow about when I read the Senmyo. Third place is a rank corresponding to Nyogo. Is that was not said to be Nyogo on the day that had been a live emperor as was it gave Zoyar. Remaining many Oboshimeshi, people with concubines, but the thing had antipathy. People with sympathy of the deceased beauty, and as a person that could not be hated, etc. Smoothness of personality, had reminded the changing of the true value of Polonia pot become now. At that time of them as being felt jealous people had thought of before because I was Kodo. Butterflies the first time, to Badger. From the was the friendly sympathy deep woman. Has been lady we all want love with emperor. Without each and people scolded Karu love and seemed that it would be of such a case. When the Buddhist memorial service for 7 days is performed one after another past. Without any regard to the sorrow of the people. From the emperor each time has made the your funeral of memorabilia. Emperor, and if only there is no loneliness trying according to the day after the dead mistresses. Going to stand as a is becoming to remember you. Nyogo was extinct also be called to the dressing on night duty. Just your morning and evening in tears. Was a fall of up to people to look as in the heart humid. I your favor the first time to feel bad for people even from the dead. To say, such as Nyogo of Hiroshi Wadai and daughter of Udaijin as even did not discard the jealousy now. Emperors to remember you just love of the prince of the changing of the keepsake also have a look. One of the prince, close Ladian, the appearance of Wakamaya becomes sent you. Such as your nanny of your own to the house it reported to became come in. In the evening of the day the wind can remember the chill out of the Funo wake. It is to be more likely our deceased than hero. Became served as use the people that Myobu of Chafu. The beautiful time of Yazukio, let me go out the Myobu. Became come to directly deep musings. Previously in this moonlit night it is performed play of music. Dressing showed the makings of excellent music person involved in one of them. Also, it was not a mediocre well-as-sung chant in such a night. Her vision is not lost even a little tachizo to your eye of the emperor. However, no matter how dark, vision is not the real value of the moment. Myobu, the late Dainakin Karo, arrived at the house. There is another unspeakable loneliness from the moment that has been drawn into the middle from the gate was tasted. Is home of the widow, but with so that there is no such even sleaze appearance of the dwelling for her only daughter. But it was lived by maintaining a fine appearance. The day of the ignorance of the hostess who lost a child from become persists. The garden of weeds was hire bad manners to one for some time. Although was to the feel rough as more premises in the wind these days of no wake. Came out with G invited the Myobu moonlight just fancy refers not touch also extended grass in the parlor of the south facing the hostess had to fill up once again chest in grief as it cannot be said things also immediately, and so those mothers who have had to die a daughter has been needed may be alive. Although thank fate is only a year meshu, these year cannot help but us and also embarrassed even more their own in place to rough at all. Shop. To say, cry enough to think it would not be actually answered. If you up to here. Also is now sorry, you even more. And there seems soul disappears. The other day, lady in waiting. But was Irishai I mentioned to his majesty. Really sadness even like me ill-advised human but try to learn. Quote, from saying, Myobu was told the Lord said of the emperor for a while. I think just like that or would not be a dream for the time being. But, along with the finally settle down, now feel the sorrow helpless. Or such time how can I? Should I? There is a person to talk at least but you do not have it. Conspicuous unexpected way. Sometimes why not come to the imperial palace? It does not become a disturbing and have not seen a long wakamaya. Also because it is poor and in the midst of the only people that he is sad also wakamaya. And to be put to him early court. You also please come together. Quote, it's this kind of your words. But turn to come and musicate to tears. Yet not be relied to withhold in my to show the weakness in people and not your appearance is a pity. Just Myri Mishita only was accepting only approximate it was. To say, also past the other of your whereabouts of the emperor of your words Jude. We have become darker eyes these days with tears. And we decided the excessive of Katajikin I said to enlightenment. Widow were to look your statement. And when there is or will be a little distracted also loneliness if built. Such a thing even sent to the day to ask for the day from becoming more of sadness deeply stand if. Vertical is in trouble. Children who are omoiya only with weathered to have also. Since it is those who have lost a happiness to be brought up in uniform parents. To you who have lost a child, at least ask at me doing to take care as an alternative to the child. Now there I wrote to bits and pieces such as Omoi on the small hagi to the sound of the wind which connects blow do of Miyagi no what do it. There was also aught that widow was not able to look in the clear prevents the tears out aside. When I meet in such sad eyes from a live longer. It is there that because there is the thing to bad me embarrassed in front of the world of people. Which is not independent even think like that much less time to time up to the imperial palace. Although the I have heard the waste saith, I will waiting upon let there not be run in the future. Walk a mile like, still thinks that the information of your father is visible to those located in the instinct. To the imperial palace because you will show you your how you want to you go early. Is such that I will have your poor to think you the most. Please thank your followed of something without face up of sojo. Also good people we lost early. That the daughter my will I was such a misfortune dressed and to die are available to you in your together. Oh sorry and that there is no best regards of luck for Wakamaya we're you in. He said such. Among them Wakamaya also became the other Unemi. We look forward to hearing from you and also you wake up. And I see you in Wakamaya. But there is also you want to your report to His Majesty and detail your situation. Because you reported comes in long awaited you for you return my of use. so let there become too late. Quote, Myobu hurried to return to say, heart of mother, that I lost that child. Because the sad darkness is I'd like at least the story of the more you sunny evening part, rather than your public. Please stop by the temple also your rest in a carefree your feelings. Previously we did was please do put in your well that I'm happy. Would be that what is to welcome you in such a sad envoy. Keisu Geisu fate think Kurushu that to live long to me. That of the deceased if Mose. A child that was to have a glorious future of hope to parents from the time that was born, until the father of Dinagan will finally become critically ill, come to realize that he wanted to Sashiagyo this person to the court of their own me. And it should not be things like throw away the thought of until now just because he died. But we will again and again. I for sure patrons is of Miyazaki. Rather well also I think that would not be such as the unhappy daughter. But we let just into his majesty wanna protect just will or welcome to me. To have received excessive of your favor. That you it is also hidden a light sleaze. Daughter but would had to serve you. Going piled up of your jealousy of you is now a burden. Has decided to death away. Such as I do not think the dead in life because of it. So that rather reproachful too deep your love of his majesty. I also think from the blind mother of love. Quote, widow not saying yet all such talk has become more and more faith in while you are or worse. Musicate with tears. It will also be to say, his majesty, their own. Yet the heart was the love trying enough not to be too calm even long before students of promise. Not feel without being aware that it is the two people which is not woven together it was. His colleagues he had been connected by a reproachful fate. From yourself ascended the throne, but had the confidence that also did not things like give a pain for anyone. Owed by that person assume the woman of resentment, not become Tay. Eventually lost the thing more important than anything. And I think that I have become more stupid a person than previously me in sorrow. The promise of the previous generation of their it all. What in was the one in one and become the talk to know has become to show you just damp your state. Quote, there is no cut in both speak. Myobu is tearfully, because I already very slow so, because Fukume as we proposed to one of tonight. To say, was the return Shitaku. Moonlit night of the sky close to the fallen sight is blowing cool wind in that crystal clear. Hard to return since it is to the voice of insects. Such is promoting the sorrow of the people. Wonder if long time night read without falling tears also doing as much of the voice of cricket. Myobu is to catch a car hummed a song like this. Above the clouds who shake do place added to the Idodo has the sound of insects Shigeki Asahu. Rather it is more like your visit I would like a reproachful. The widow was to say to my wife, because I did not in the case of such gift was Cora the design. And to the fact that the deceased keepsake, to a line one of Karakuromo and sang, gave along with it entered a box of tools of the hair raising. The mourn the changing of the death of the young wife who is a course but have died of the courthouse. Often seems lonely thing less than, and or thought your gentle emperor of your appearance, is Wakamaya to the early imperial palace although encouraged and to be in your way. Also unhappy he is up to us together. Also tools such as to provide the material of the blame to the public. Also in farewell and Wakamaya to say whether it I think the widow that there is no self-confidence. To be cut bare pin you are. It was poor in the execution of eventually Wakamaya of the court filled. Myobu I returned to the imperial palace. I thought sorry for emperor not to come entered into your bedroom still remains good. Wife 4 is not a mediocre sporting a fu I rasharu love the courtyard of autumn flowers bloom of the. It was the so come to talk placed beside you for your people. Is that all the time to visit the emperor these days? The Changhenge of Hikaruka 10 that was the theme of the love of the emperor Zanzong Poppy. Pavilion Council is sporting a picture. In the scroll. Which became to poems you a song and eyes and Tsurani Yuki. Other Japan is also in literature. But in China, The only thing that sadness of those who broke up the mistress has been sung. Emperor became you read. Emperor came to hear the state of the bits and pieces to Dainagan house in Myobu. Myobu that came to give thought to shame the body was sincerely Habakari Nagara, a voice to the outside. The Ohenji of widow emperor to visit. What I wonder think Yoroshuan will dispose of the Matain of. Even if we hear these say, fools there then is the only sad just think. She prevent Araki wind each above small hagi then she withered of shade Shizuko Koronaki. Like that. But are also written things like suspicious of the value of the song. Became a generously see because it iser yawn in the restless mind for grief. Emperors to obo shimeshi if it is sadness. Not must not holding to some extent. It appears to be a control difficult. The first time to such things when I came up with the changing of Kuritsubo as has emerged on the surface of your mind to invite the emperor to more dark grief. To even was hard even to myself that is at the time broke up for a while. Thus their own and I think that is one that is alive even one person as emperor also feel like a liar became you think. I repay to the widow. Which run from trouble the will of Dainagan dead. He can lay the dressing to the raised position of concubines. But myself and wanted to have always thought. It became everything all a dream. So it says in the became come to the sympathy not only to the widow. But, if you come walk a mile even without the stomach the person is the day when even the emperor. It is also possible to give the position of after the deceased. And want to live up to it that his wife would have thought. There is Lord said that like. Myobu arranged the thing that was given to you. This is the when there in the hairpin of the ball came obtained up to the poppy of illusion teacher. Of Tang passed away. Emperor became I think also you cannot buy. In order to know in there the whereabouts of the soul in the go illusion also has a go-between. Also one's poppy seen in the paintings. No matter how the virtuoso representation in the picture if there is only and does not have the so much of the good face. Also in Lotus Pond Fudoshiki. But would have liked to be that person willow flavor of Wei Young Palace. Also as well there is a ornate attire of Tang. Soft beauty with the dressing. Gloss when a figure made to look then I think to it. This was one of the best even the color of the flower unexpected is also likened to the voice of the bird. Between the two of you always. The birds of the wing is up to heaven. But became come vowed a permanent love in terms of now and forever if Umariri on the ground. Fate gives early death to one of them and had. When it comes to come emperor even remember the sadness in the voice of insects to the sound of autumn wind. Nyogo of Hiroshi Wei Dian and it's without up you also to the other a long time in the palace of the night. Night duty. The palace to indulge in tonight's moonlight emperor from his maid to the ensemble of music and was unpleasantly oboshimeshi, such as the palace circles officials and the emperor with a wife you are familiar with the emperor. Of your mood of this time also with the antipathy to the tone of all Hiroshi Weidian. In such changing of death people of Makurai nature was the is showing on purpose fu that is not. In the eye, month also fell. Above the clouds also in of orchid asahu that live on the moon squid pivot fall in tears. Myobu is still a emperor that of the deceased was your reported house was to come happening while sporting imagination. Will the officer of the right Kanofu became 2 o'clock the morning if with it to show off the name of the night watch person. It was not a fierce tiger got a good night's sleep is also I made to your habakari from getting to enter you into your bedroom. Even in the morning you wake up also. Accounted for the old days of your recollection is your mind that talking without knowing even dawn. Died life also of morning political affairs is also the day for which the choki will be made to your neglect. Your appetite no. Simple breakfast is made to take you only sign. Your emperor, such as dishes of diokako which is prepared as chosen had become shall not. Meshiagara, its get our serving of palace circles officials in it. But those guys all the state had tanai. All people who entourage was Tanai and is in trouble without another of men and women. In a well deep before production of your edge. That time is not only in the world of the blame, also concubines of resentment of voice, also your ear. Only thing about that person becomes is it lost the right decision. And after the dead thus not be neglected, you nothing parliamentary become sunken sadness. To say is that it is not my best regards for the nation. There was some people say pull out even the example of successive dynasties of China. The second son became enter your to court then if several month. Even the time when Gokuo smaller than those of the world was better to come of your good looks. Not become visible you, but now also seem to those of the more shining more. The following year there was a thing Ritaishi. Although Boshimashi's emperor was in the second of the prince, who that there is no person of guardianship. Also everyone is turned come and realized that the is that it does not positive. Rather the status is at risk ahead of Wakamaya turned in as with you think those that did not his suicide to anyone you leaked. Became to become your to crown prince as the first prince. Look at this result. Also said the public is that it's not to be still prince in your Aiko of so much. Nyogo of Hiroshi Weidian was also peace of mind. Widow of Gaisobo the house from that time to the other to go to the world who is the locker. Discouraged is seeking intently of Buddha Rago to say that there is no hope. And finally died. Emperor also Wakamaya has become our sorrow for having lost a grandmother. Since this is that when the prince is 6 years old. This time is different from the time that was in the changing of the death of the mother. The prince became your grief to know the death of the grandmother. Is saying dead widow the only that is that sad to say goodbye in the temple that had my name all the time the caravan till now. Then Wakamaya was supposed to be so come just to the other court. Expression of the New Year's writing when the 7-year-old has become is the first time you study. Done. But emperor in sagacity no kind of prince were often made to your surprise. I will not be able any more hate this child anyone. Please do your lovingly even and only in that there is no mother. The emperor turned to you to say, was to put us even as it is enemies are made to your tangles together when it comes to daytime. Come to Hiroshi Weidian, because the smile is also a look at this man dat bitter enemy also dat any strength one of the samurai became Yesu in a beautiful small child you think that would be a natural Niwaku. Nyogo also could not help but remember the love. This Nyogo had birth in addition to 2 people of Himamiya you of the crown prince. But also from the people as better of the second son was your beautiful Himamiya ye became your treated as a clever play partner is not for hiding. Learning was rich as well be old music. It was a child prodigy of about sounds unnatural speaking. In that hour Goryeo people were grouse had been contaminated with those of skillful physiognomist. Right but emperor became hear it? To become a call you to court is adapted not to be you if there is your GATH Pavilion Institute. The care the role of the prince to anyone in the secret and seems to like a child of the large valve. Became a spear you to hung Luguan to Ryoshuku of foreigners the prince. Aihido was often tilted his head suspicious likely. A physiognomy to obtain the best position to become the country of the parent. Now to look whither may be it. It is not it is happy the way of the people to be so. As someone who is a national of Indalicite to the council of the emperor look is also different. As even, and he said, because was a government who valve which can also Chinese classics well. And there was a funny thing to questions and answers of the Goryeo people who have Hishi. It Goryeo people also poetry of gift giving is that were in people with other Japanese journey. Draws to a close it to the period in the face by a rare noble of phases. Meaning as that is to further Gataku leave this country now it was created. Wakamai also became Otsukuri in poetry the meaning of farewell, but was determined or the gift of a variety of the country praised the poem very. Also there were many oak products to phase people of Goryeo from the court. That is, such as from the reputation of maternal relative of the crown prince Daijin have any doubts on the relationship between the second son and the phase people of Korea. A point that has been good even as not falling into the intelligent emperor is forecast the future of the prince to the previous word of the Goryeo people became come as you choose the happy way. So it became a recognized your value to the phase person who divined pretty much the same thing. In such 4 dishes following non-goods prince, do not want to put this child as discouraging royalty, since it is the unexpected could always tell when even my generation ends. Unexpected Muskyara place provided the most reliable position in the future to this child, and it is best that make its state of the pillar placed in a column of his subjects, is to decide incense, became so pressed a variety of study ever before, but to the retainers and made of a large genius seems to come a pure point to see as was to become. Your mind that regrettable, of course received likely to doubt like having the ambition to be about to change intent she if the prince became seemed you. Since the such the same way even if to ask the person who the good destiny divination report. After the ceremony of attaining manhood became decided you try to uncertain of Genji and he gave. Minamoto say, even after the years emperor could not be made to forget the grief of bereavement and changing of Kuritsubo. There are people such as the beautiful reputation in Noboshi Meshi whether become plaything was also be summoned to the seraglio. The result is to your taste the disappointment that this is the world is not even just the person. Pursuant to the late changing of beauty it was only these days. Late emperor, emperor of cousin or uncle mister, of the fourth anyone even if you say that you're beautiful princess, that people of that after your mother kun is to come to cherish. Emperor of Soba in person maid of honor that service as that was in the court of the late emperor. If you are out of good friends also to the temple of after. To know also your childhood of the princess, because I have gained a lot of opportunity to look a hint to your face still on. I mentioned to the emperor. Control of Mia Sundakoro became a you died, the person who is similar to the appearance. Though was also there is not seen yet even I. Which got off to court 3 generations. Only the temple like princess like after as that was the first time noticed your shall be similar to those. There is very person you're beautiful. If such a thing is moving large your heart and if there is from which you offer the kindness that of your imperial bridal party's entry into the court of Himamiya to the temple of the late emperor. Your after is such a terrible thing. A strong personality Nyogo is extraordinary of the mother of crown prince. Though there are also examples of dressing as a blatant bullying side of the Kuritsubo. Talked to Oboshi Meshi and was supposed to leave the of which it later became your collapse. Emperor to become a come live in one person Himamiya is made to ask. I want to take care to think in the same way as princess of their daughters rather than Nyogo. And it became still enthusiastically recommend the imperial bridal party's entry into the court. Thus become come. More so come to think the only thing Ahamaya. And would also plaything of young your mind once you become your way to the court of your life. A person of your with a wife and care engagement say. Hyobusar prince of brother kun even if in your favor to the theory. So the fourth of the princess of the late emperor became Liu to the person emperor of Nyogo. Palace is Fuji-Subo, as the story of the lady in waiting. Until a wonder your intercession of the body and appearance of Himamiya became come similar to the changing of Kuritsubo. This person has no reproach of criticism to your identity. All be one of your fine. Did not know the words that anyone diminish. Dressing of Kuritsubo there was a place which is not able to take the proportional to the identity. And your love butterflies. Will you scratch the hand cannot be said also to have been healed in the temple of the new Nyogo. But now naturally the old days will be forgotten as a long time ago. It has been returned or fun your life to the emperor. Any more of it would still was a man of love that do not could be the eternal. Your Genji, but is still a prince not he become the Minamoto say. I do this right since it is the direction to become yours so soon. Always, since it is not to leave you a bequeathus of the emperor. We also follow to the palace of nature which Nyogo, palace of emperor become is particularly often come as a Fujiitsubo. Often go palace of Genji to accompany as Fujiitsubo. Just hiding become the temple also your familiar did not become come on. Since any even in the seraglio is not as the person who imperial bridal party's entry into the court without the self-confidence of the appearance. But everyone was a person who with each of beauty, had to say any more everyone considerably year. Even if Nasu, and it's into the young year beautiful Fujiitsubo of the temple is the appearance so that the person is unexpected show as much as possible face very shy. It was also the case that will be seen by you of Genji naturally. Although the changing of the mother is not even remember remnants, because the maid of honor and good will come similar said. Hope that miss as a person similar to the mother in a child-centered. So want to always go to Fujiitsubo. Wanna be friends with that person there was in my heart. The emperor is a beloved wife, both of whom was the beloved son. Please do you love him? I like as you and the mother of this child as strange. Please doing lovingly to not think that it is rude. Eyes countenance of this child is also very similar to mother you since this child and with you I feel that may be seen as mother and child. Quote, comes without bait emperor, such as beautiful branches also flowers and autumn leaves in a child-centered want first give to this house. Began to take this kind of attitude that I would like you to receive your favor. Jealousy of the subject of Nyogo of the current Hiroshi Dayan the Genji to gather a favor to there. Because there was a temple of Fujiitsubo. Was supposed to have a hatred was also rekindled old grudge forgotten time. Nyogo is proud. Young princess how beauty the world of people of Genji that beauty was beyond distant to become be. Praise said that your light to reveal. Fujiitsubo palace of control as Nyogo, made from favor was intended Narabi Naya's couplet. Had I say the temple and one of the shining day. Emperor so that it does not want to change forever the your beautiful Dagyo of Genji was to that. Oboshi Meshi, but had to become not pushed to the ceremony of attaining manhood to finally 12 years old. Nothing preparation of the expression became your orders in the emperor himself. Without decreasing the expression of your ceremony of attaining manhood of the crown prince too. Had a yaka of the time that has been mentioned in Shishinden before. Built dormitory the shitaku of the feast a day-to-day government people bestow to separate each class. It is clogging to like granary institute the official shitaku. So and if not enough oboshi meshi, especially if there is Seth, has been in what they were also extremely brilliant. Soft temple is facing east. Chair of the throne is laid in front of the parlor of your garden. Seat of the prince to be ceremony of attaining manhood. Minister of the seat of the coming of age ceremony officers had been able to the Kimi of Genji was reckoned the afternoon 4 o'clock. Countenance of Genji, which we thanked hair of Dagyo you ring at the ear is divided into two at the top. The boy's beauty was spared the will of it is not possible to keep it forever. Hairdressing role is financed today. Was Fu think regrettable from the cut short beautiful hair. Emperor and if Miyasunda Koro saw this formula, was to come to suppress the unbearable becomes grief by becoming to remember you a long time ago. Coming of age ceremony was over. Once dropped to rest stations, where Genji was high on the garden by changing the clothes. Various members of the attendants had spilled tears of the beauty of all small Omiyahido. Emperor had much less your self-control made it hard to control emotions. Since becoming a temple of Fujiitsubo in deals, the old days of melancholy that was also to become a come undercover as came rather to your chest. Once again, is to become a form of adult's head is still small. But it's your concern that or not as let Sanji the beauty of the people is also became to of you. Joined by new colors of the more surprised you the Genji Naute looked. The minister of the coming-of-age ceremony had a daughter that was born between the princess of his wife, had been hesitant your Stonehenge without accept your became you want into concubines from the crown princes because had she from the beginning to your spouse of Genji. The minister was also asked for your intention of the emperor. So since it is that some people take care of his after ceremony of attaining manhood, it is only necessary to the people together, because was set that the minister had for the sake of its realization. The spree, which was held in the parlor, which has become today's samurai office. Genji arrived to the next seat of the prince how, even if the minister hinted the matter of her daughter, it was not able to very young Genji anything Stonehenge. Since the maid of honor by Seth from more of the emperor of your living room came to call the minister went to the site immediately. Bestowed products is coming-of-age ceremony auditors Toratsui is Myobu of Osojo. White with large uchigi one is your clothes of the emperor of the dressing feet arrayed. This is the article that was definite from the old days. When you bestow a shuhai. Begone the next song. Heart vowed a long time the world to the defunct first Moto Yui monument Itoki has signed Kometsuya. Gyosei became had called you up to the marriage of a woman of the minister surprised the minister. The color of the respiratory conclusion Surumine deep Moto Yui monument purple and Azeuba. Ministers from the Sojo and Odin reply and was the worship down the stairs in front of the soft buttocks. His horses and Kurodata Korohak of Hidari Barrio has given at that time. The various members after exits before the floor to give the respective goods in accordance with the request of the officials. Control of this day, dishes or zoom of the feast of the seat, such as candy basket justified all right-sized valve were those made by your instruction. The number of lunch to bestow to officials in general. Generally that there was a lot of boxes containing the silk to be oak was equal to or greater than the time of your ceremony of attaining manhood of the crown prince. It's your night Genji became the son-in-law to Sadaijin house. Yoshimi even this ritual as had been exhausted. The son-in-law of noble teenager minister thought cute, since more of the princess was a little older, that it has been placed in the younger boy. I thought to be embarrassed in suits not on the minister with a large force, because the mother of Mrs. Princess was your brethren of the emperor. Merely gorgeous to the place that is home, because it was greeted by the son-in-law and now also emperor of your Aiko of Genji. Force of Udaijin that are thought to Kanpak of the future in the maternal grandfather of crown prince had been pressed care about none in the comparison. Sadaijin had also several people the children born from some of Min. Princess belly of now, but Brewers a major general of the beautiful is to the left and right. Minister prince of the younger relationship is not good. It is not possible to have a look at the Brewers major general in elsewhere who have to take care. It was a forewoman of the son-in-law. This is also Sadaijin that had been Kashizuka's important son-in-law kun from Udaijin no less you. To important one of Genji was a good thing the pair lovely. Because you're of Genji sports emperor is less likely to release the soba. It could not also have done to the house of slowly wife. The heart of Genji been thought to what the temple of beauty of Fuji Subo is the top yourself. People like that also want to be his wife. Women, such as the temple would not be with another person. Daughter of Sadaijin is cherished. It is that the only daughter of the beautiful aristocrat grew up. Nodded and was about painful just as misseth the temple of barnacles in the mind of something like. This seems been to a simple boy. Genji after the ceremony of attaining manhood was not able to put it into the palace of mistakes anymore. Fujitsubo. Toka seek the voice of the person who is playing your thing in the harp and flute sounds. Now is the Toka hear the faint your voice that is not heard by the other things over. Just night duty of the court becomes the consolation of also at least liked. 5. And are in the 6 days imperial palace. 2. Returnable haute such as go to a 3-day minister of the house. The minister does not think also trying to toge meo look because it is still boyhood. Kachizuki of Amokawarazu son-in-law Mr. Turmoil the Tawa's wife with a new couple or have a particularly good person or event a favorite likely to play. It is very hard. The imperial palace is to give us the original Karitsubo of the changing of the mother tonight. Duty office of Genji became come as it is to use the wife that had been samurai to Miya Sundakoro. Repair of public office towards the changing of the house. Turn commanded the emperor to such Takumi dormitory. It was renovated to those very admirable. Was a house with from the original good garden with a rockery. But the pond, such as was also this time is much more widely. Article of hospital is this. Genji is all the time I think if you can live with the wife of his ideal as expected in such a favorite home, had a Tansoku. Koryo people named Kimi came to hung Luguan in front of the light. It is the case I was told that's the name that Suki praised the beauty and genius of Genji that time.